Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Save File podcast. With me today is the guy that has his initials as arse on every arcade machine when he gets the high score. It's Amp.
Hey, what up? Oh.
And the guy that, well, just disappoints you and always hogs the one game that you want to play at the arcade. It's Josh.
Yeah.
And
That's alright.
And of course, I'm Charbel, the person that helps old ladies cross the road to get to the arcade. That has never happened, but I'm going to take credit for it. Now, let's just dive right into it, because I brought this up with Josh and Amp. This will be a surprise for you. I said there are two main questions that I want answered tonight from both of you. Okay? One is, what is the most underwhelming game you've ever played? Right? Now that could be you pre-ordered the game and you were looking forward to it and it just didn't live up to hype, or, you know, just whatever. What was the most underwhelming gaming experience you've ever had? Okay? And the second is, what was like the most pleasantly surprising experience you have? Maybe it's a hidden gem of a game that you found or something like that. So we'll start with you, Amp.
I'll start with the second question first, and then I'll go for the underwhelming experience.
I can already tell your answer will be an underwhelming experience. None.
Well, the most surprising game that I've ever played, and it was really good, is Nier Automata, which was last year. I was talking about this game like as soon as I got it and started playing it. Like, I never stopped talking about this game. Like, I was excited for it at first, but because I heard like the previous Nier wasn't as good, or I heard it was extremely mediocre in gameplay, I was kind of a bit iffy with it. So as soon as I got Nier Automata, I went in, played it, and as soon as I like got control of my character, I was astounded. Like, it was a really amazing experience. Like, I would totally play it again. Like, it's... Oh, like, I recommend the game. It's... It's tied to Persona 5 as my favorite game of 2017.
Oh, those are two good games.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and underwhelming experience... At the moment, I'm playing one. I'm
What are you
playing
playing?
Eternal Sonata.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll back out of this part and I'll leave you to it.
I don't hate the game, but at the moment, the plot is not exactly catching me in. The gameplay is, I guess it's alright, but I was expecting it to be some Tales-esque experience, but instead I got cutscenes that last a very long time. And after I beat this certain boss just then, I just got educational material.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah. It tries to instruct you on this classical composer.
I legit got a history.
No!
I got a history lesson for like what, 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Eternal Sonata, for those who don't know, was an RPG released for the Xbox 360 a while ago, and I believe it's on PlayStation 3. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's on the PlayStation 3. And it's the a fictionalized telling of the death of a classical composer, like a real life classical composer. And every now and then it just likes to throw like this bunch of lore info, like his real life, and then him in this fantasy world. It's very strange.
His name is Frederick Chopin. Is it Frederick Chopin? Chopin? Yeah.
Chopin.
It's based on him.
It hasn't done a great job of educating you if you can't pronounce the name, man.
You can't pronounce his name, so...
So the game has failed in multiple aspects.
Yeah, so Frederick Chopin...
Chopin.
gets to go through the...
I feel like that's not how the name was meant to be pronounced, Josh.
I'm almost...
Dude, as soon as I said Chopin, I used to call him Chopin,
Chopin,
and then as soon as I said that, someone wanted to slap me instantly.
This is Chopin sound.
Chopin Reed.
Oh god. No, the game isn't actually that bad. There are a few egregious sins that I probably won't spoil for Amphia, but
Oh,
Yeah, no, I can understand the underwhelming experience. It's not a very... even the gameplay is not that, like...
No,
gripping.
no, it isn't. And I to be honest, I might have learned a few things in that 10 minutes, but I really didn't give a shit. I just want to, like, engage in his fantasy world a lot more than his actual life.
Yeah, it would have been cooler to learn through his life, like, as it applies
like-
to the game. Like, that would have been more interesting, but the fact that it just goes to this cutscene where there's just, like, fucking photos of this dude...
There's not even
In black
talking.
and white.
Like, it's just the subtitles slapped with a bunch of stock
like-
images.
And it like sort of takes you out of the game and breaks flow and
Yes.
stuff like that.
breaks flow with a sledgehammer. Like, fuck. But Eternal Sonata could have been better. There's some really cool things, and then they like turn into really terrible things. Do you care if I spoil it, Amph? Do you want to remain
At this
in
point, I
innocent
don't
boy?
care. It's yeah.
At this point, you don't care. Well, spoilers for Eternal Sonata. So the final boss is actually Mr. Chopin himself. So you're with him throughout the entire game, and you grind him up, and then he just like turns on the fucking party right at the end because he realizes this fantasy world is his delusions while he's dying. And then you kill him. A good thing. Interesting story-wise. Bad thing. He has the same stats as you grinded him up to.
He's that type of final boss, huh?
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
If you didn't see that coming, you can spend hours and hours grinding him
Not
up to
fucking-
kick your ass.
Not fucking bad for someone dying from tuberculosis.
Oh god.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he did die from
Yeah.
tuberculosis. Yeah. Oh.
It's because he wasn't leveled up enough.
Nah, he was a
Yeah,
sick
he
boy.
was a very sick boy.
They should have put more points into his resilience.
They should have absolutely.
But
They
I-
should have worn that ribbon.
I can't wait for the sequel, Eternal Sinatra. Hey.
Hey.
And I think that's where we'll end it right here.
Yeah, no, we're gonna-
Nothing is
Yeah.
gonna get better than that.
That was the best pun we could ever do. That was the Safe File podcast. Amph, underwhelming. Oh wait, no, that was your underwhelming.
Alright,
Yeah.
I guess I'll go
go
next.
for it.
I guess I'll do them in the same order as Ant. A hidden gem that I found was actually my introduction to the Tales series. I went to EB Games one day, little Josh with his gift card, and I had no idea what to buy. And I just picked up a game, and it just told me, yeah, it's like an RPG, it's all anime, and you can collect monsters like the Pokemons. And I was like, this is a cool game.
Like the Pokemons.
Like the Pokemons. So I took it home and I played. I'm like, this is actually really interesting and fun. I'm not sure why it expects me to know these characters. Oh, it's the sequel. And that was how I played Tales of Symphonia 2 before I played Tales of Symphonia 1.
You missed out.
But I did, but I really, really enjoyed the game. It was exactly what I was looking for at that time. It was fun, and it's not nearly as egregious as everyone says it is. It's definitely not the best Tales of game, but it was really fun and enjoyable. for
I
what it
liked
was.
that game a lot more than I did Zestiria, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Tales of Symphonia 2 was really cool. I love the
yeah.
monster mechanic in that. That was fun. Underwhelming. Charbel, you already know my answer.
No. You're gonna say it.
So as a wee boy, I went to my friend's house and he was playing a new game of Sonic 06. I didn't know how to use the internet properly, so I had no idea what the game was like. And I didn't even get to play it because he was hogging it the entire time.
Yeah, there's always
And
that
Silver
one
looked
friend.
really cool because I'm an edgy weeb.
Oh.
And I was like, I fucking want that game so bad. It's so cool. And then I got the game. And it took about an hour to get past the first level. Because of how many times I died from a glitch where the whale would fucking just overtake me. Or how I would go around a loop-de-loop and it would fling me off like a fucking cannon. Or, you know, how sometimes you just clip through the ground. You know, as you do.
Yeah, as you do.
Very common.
My favorite thing is it took 3 minutes to load one dialogue box to go into another loading time.
The only thing that redeems
It's like-
Sonic 06, it's not a very redeemable game. It's so bad. It's the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is redeemable. The soundtrack is bloody fantastic, and I still listen to it. But that game is
Oh,
That game makes me sad.
The part that made me want to actually snap the disc in half, I've never felt like that in my life, was the fucking silver level.
Yeah.
You had to like knock things into like, it was like a pool table-esque thing. Oh, it was so bad.
Yep. I think my fucking least favorite levels was Sonic versus Silver, where if you didn't know exactly how to do that fight, it's either incredibly easy and a joke, or it's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life.
Use.
It's no use. He will pick you up, throw you, do damage. Pick you up before you hit the ground, throw you, do damage. Like, you don't get a chance.
He'll throw you into space.
Yeah. Fucking flung off this planet by a cosmic wizard.
That's how Sonic Unleashed starts.
Oh,
I actually like Sonic Unleashed.
All right, Chauvel.
All right.
You had you had this topic come up, so I'm assuming you have a really interesting, and it's going to be the most thought-provoking one. It's going to be great.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with a game that I consider to be a hidden gem. All right.
All right.
Now, in 2006 as well, Josh. Now, I was in a Big W, right, and there was this game, and it was on, it was only for like $30. And I was like, man, the front of it looks really cool, It had a guy aiming a gun, and it had the crosshair and that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And for years, I called this game XIII because I was too stupid to think about Roman numerals.
Oh my god!
The game is called 13, right? It's a first-person shooter by Ubisoft, and everything's all in this sort of comic book style type of thing. And it turned out I actually didn't play that game properly for like years, like.
How bad can you be at one game?
No, it's just like I'd play it and then I'd be like, meh, Tony Hawk's is better, and I'd go back to playing that. Like I always like played games in spurts, and then one time I was like, you know what, I'm gonna beat the absolute shit out of this game, and that's where I really saw how damn good that game was, and it's awesome. Like even the premise of it. So the premise of it is, you wake up on a beach and you're taken back to like a fucking surf life rescue office thing. And you have amnesia. The only clues to your identity is the fact that you have a tattoo on your chest that says 13 in Roman numerals.
Oh my god, I've seen this game.
And a key card. And people are after you. You have no idea why. And you pretty much have to survive and figure out what in the fuck is going on. For starters, that was an awesome I actually love the premise of that. Because as you feel like as the player, you're discovering things at the same time as the main character. Because you're like, oh shit, when he discovers something, that means I've learned it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, and he's like, oh, now I remember. And it'll explain everything to you. So you never feel like there's gaps in the narrative, if that makes sense. Or at least none that you should know already. But long story short, it turns out people blame you for the President of the United States being shot, and that is why a lot of people are very upset with you.
Yes, that tends to make people upset.
And you learn about an organization that actually did it called the 20. And spoiler alert, I take it neither of you care about this game enough, but it turns out you're a US Special Forces soldier who's impersonating one of them to take them out from the inside.
Oh, okay.
So the one you're impersonating is number 13. Your real name is Steve Rowland. And it's actually really well done how it's how it was made. I loved it, and it's crazy because it took me years to do it, and then I was like, you know what? I wonder if they ever made a sequel. And here's where the disappointment kicks in. I looked it up. There is a sequel to this game. Oh. It is a point-and-click adventure game that was only on iOS and that is not available anymore.
What?
That's a.
And it ends on a massive fucking cliffhanger.
Oh.
Apparently, the original 13 received 8.5 out of 10.
Like it was actually I loved it, to be honest, because it was just a fun game.
And trying to look up 13.2 just results in Final Fantasy.
Again with Final Fantasy ruining this shit. First it was Amp's intro from like the last episode before you took a leave of absence.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, that was.
That was a good intro. You just did it to someone who's never weaved in his life.
That was so jarring.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
Now, the thing you all know me for, getting angry at games. So, in terms
I'm
of...
pretty sure that's my title from now on.
Alright.
Ever since our fucking Angry Joe episode.
Oh.
So, I have a few examples. Number one, NBA 2K18. Now, I know you two don't play sports games, right?
Nah.
And I know you two don't follow
You brought this game up so much.
Because it deserves to be burned. They took a mode where all you have to do is be a general manager of a team. That's all they had to do, and just make slight improvements to it, and they threw a fucking story mode in there. They literally... So the story starts with your player, like 5 years in the past, getting a career-ending leg injury for a team I had no intention to play for. You know, I don't even get to see the injury, but they make it as if, like, I was on the next thing, like, oh yeah, you had 36 points before you fucking got injured, hey. That sucks for you, and they just keep giving my player shit for getting injured. And then fast forward to modern day, where I'm finally the GM of the team I want. What do? The game brings in a story about a guy who has bought the team and wants to move the Chicago Bulls to Seattle for no fucking reason, other than the fact that he likes the city of Seattle. Here's the best part is, he actually makes you hire his shit kid as your assistant.
Huh.
And the game, like, for a game that gives me total control in making decisions for this franchise, they actually make the game make decisions for you. There are times where, like, there's one in particular that pissed me off, where a player was traded for without my consent, and then this player wanted, like, $45 million. And if you don't re-sign him, they're like, oh, you know, you'll be fired and all this shit. So I had to overpay this prick.
That's so dumb.
It really is. And the funny thing is now, I went on and I was like, I'm going to see what other people think about it. I checked the 2K forums, I checked Reddit, I've checked Facebook and YouTube. Everyone hated this.
I thought this was about.
They were like,
about basketball, not business.
That's no. It's
business ball.
It's not that. Like, I mean, okay, if you want to play franchise mode, okay, yeah, no worries, my GM. Okay, there are business aspects to it. But why do I have to hire someone's shit kid? And then the best part is, after the first year, none of it matters. So I fired the shit kid and told him to fuck off. I fired everyone on the team, like all the staff. Hired everyone that I wanted. And I just restarted. It was like, I essentially wasted my time. Number 2 on the list of games that fucking irritated me was Destiny. I'm going to start by saying this. If your game has more than one season pass, I fucking hate it. You're on my shit.
That's a good way to piss off Charbel.
Like, don't. I should not have to pay multiple full games for just some additional content. It's a fucking joke because it's like, why?
I knew they were going to do this.
No, it just...
They called it a season pass. So there's going to be season 2.
I hated it. The bit that annoyed me as well was Destiny lacked so much content that it actively it tried to get you to stop playing. If you did the Nightfall, you could only do it once per character and be rewarded for it. Like, that's how much it actively hated its player base playing its game. That's how lacking content it was.
Dude, did you just make this topic so you could yell about games you don't like?
I feel like I sort of did subconsciously.
I feel like you've got, like, this is group therapy now for your disappointing experience.
It's backed up anger.
Okay, and my final one... I could go on for Destiny for hours. I'll leave it there.
I know you could.
Alright, now my final one is a game that I actually did like, but that I felt like was flawed in some ways. And that's Tekken 7. I feel like removing the scenario campaign and forcing me to just play through it as essentially just the Mishima family with a couple of others sprinkled in between. I really couldn't care for that. You know, it's... the story was good. I like the fact that they ended the whole, I guess, Heihachi arc. If you can call it that. You know, but it's like
they ended kind of like the overarching narrative.
Yeah, I wish that why can't I play through the story with, other characters like I did in Tekken 6 with the scenario campaign. And the funny thing is, the story for the other characters is one fucking fight. How am I going to call these? Why are these guys fighting in the King of Iron Fist tournament when there's one fight? Like, is that all it takes? It's...
Yeah.
I felt like it was lacking. And that's not even bringing up the fact that a lot of characters are now were not in Tekken 7. It had half of what Tekken Tag 2 had. It had less than Tekken 6. Like, to me, it was just like, where's the rest of them?
It really became Family Matters the game.
Pretty much. It was a very violent Family Matters.
It really is very violent. Tekken's like weirdly violent.
Also,
like they're punching each other, but sometimes they throw each other off cliffs.
As you do to your kid.
Yes.
No, but,
you might think your kid's the devil, so you throw him off a cliff.
But what I love is he said, "I threw you off the cliff because I knew you would I thought if you were the devil, you'd come back." What if he didn't come back? Imagine having...
Heihachi just would have been like, oh, well, fuck.
Like, there's just a hidden scene of Heihachi and Kazumi. And Kazumi's like, what the shit? And he's like, look, babe, I'm sorry. I thought he was the devil. Can you blame me? Look at his hair.
What you gonna say? Her throat's crushed.
Baby, I thought he was the devil.
Like, as far as reasons to kill your kid go, that is not up there. I thought he was the devil. Well, was he? No. Shit.
No, backfired on that one. I know.
But luckily for Heihachi and unluckily for the rest of the world, he was the devil.
Fucking Heihachi takes I want a divorce and I don't want to pay child support to the next level.
It really was just like, well, I was lucky for Heihachi and unfortunate for everyone else.
No, but it's funny because it's Tekken 7's opening starts with like a 10-year-old Kazuya fighting Heihachi, and I'm like, with all the...
It's a great tutorial. I like the part where he just smacks you and a quarter of your health goes down.
I'm like, man, like, in this day and age, to make a game that starts with beating the shit out of a child, I mean, you do you. You do you, Bandai.
No, beating the shit out of a child and it's not in like a weird indie game.
They don't even try to hide it. Heihachi just sidekicks him and he sends him flying back.
Don't you love...
You go and you try to hit him. You're not even denting his health bar. And Heihachi's just
don't you love corporal punishment?
Corporal fucking...
You even have to like... I love the fact that they even put in a button prompt to throw Kazuya off the cliff.
Yeah, you have to do it yourself. It's like, no. This is you.
Oh, man. But I think there's a lot of great dads in video games. Heihachi, Kratos.
Kratos is a good dad.
100%.
He did well. Heihachi's a good dad if you ignore him. If you don't look at his history or what he does. He qualifies as a dad.
He qualifies as a dad, and that's about it.
Yeah, like he fathered a child. That's about it.
Man. But I feel like, it's a funny thing. I think I've got to ask, one thing that I've been talking with a mate of mine over is, a mate of mine brought up that he bought the Bioshock collection, right? Now, I have it as well. I've got mine on PS4. I think he bought his on Xbox One. And I got to ask, what do you guys think about these collections and re-releases?
Yeah, I don't have a
problem. I'm alright with them, especially if games span over multiple consoles. Things like the Devil May Cry collection, I think, is a really good idea.
I've got the Devil May Cry collection.
Yeah. I like that. I don't like collections if it's like a bunch of games that came out like 2 years ago. It's like, go and just buy the games.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them either. Like, it gives like newcomers an incentive to get into this series in a whole pack. Like,
yeah, Joe.
Yeah, an example of that. Speaking of that whole Joe controversy thing, the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yeah, you get all of them.
Yeah,
like,
and you get three with it if you buy it online. Like, you can get the all-in-one collection where you essentially get all the games so far, and then 3 later.
That's actually a mad deal.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. No, but that's the thing. I like collections, especially for long series or series over a long time. Bioshock is a good collection to get to, just because having them all in one place is very helpful.
Not just that. So one thing that I've seen a lot of, especially if you go on, the YouTube comment sections and things like that, is a lot of people complaining, saying, "Oh, well, they're just re-releases," right? And I think you guys can feel probably what could be the show's catchphrase coming up. If you don't like the fact that games are being re-released, just don't fucking buy them. I mean, it's funny, but it's like, I've never had a problem with a re-release, because it's like, I've never sat here and been like, it's literally the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's never been I've never felt like I've wasted my money on buying a game at launch only for it to be re-released later. For example, like, I'm trying to think. Okay, the Ratchet Clank HD collection that was on PS3.
Yeah.
Even though I own, I own the games on PS2 and all that, it was never, like, I rebought them because I'm like, oh wow, okay, they're in HD and they're all gonna be in one collection. That sounds fucking awesome. I mean, I failed to see where people get annoyed at re-releases.
Well, people get annoyed because they have this, they have this conception that when they buy these things, they're gonna get something new. It's like, no, they're re-releases. If you own all the games, then it's probably irrelevant for you to buy them, so there's no need for you to complain.
But that's my point. Like, you're under no obligation to buy them. With re-releases, I mean, okay, sometimes most of the time, so they get bundled with, like, all the DLC and things like that. I've never had an issue with it. The only time I've ever not been 100% happy with a retail release... Oh, sorry, why did I say retail? Re-release... And this might actually shock the two of you, is the Nathan Drake collection from Uncharted.
Alright.
And the only reason I was not 100% satisfied is because they removed the co-op missions.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, no, I can understand.
That was it. If they had kept the co-op mode in, I would have been fucking thrilled. Don't get me wrong, I mean, it's more than worth the asking price. I mean, I have the special edition of it for $60. I got that for $60, which was a damn good deal in my opinion. I mean, even if you're just saying $20 for, Uncharted, for each of them. Like, I still say that's a great deal, but it's just like, I wish they'd kept the co-op in. But even so, I still got my money's worth, Yeah,
that's the thing, like, when you buy these collections, they're at retail price, but they're 3 bloody games, they're 5 bloody games, they're 4 bloody games. Like, it's a lot more content than you're usually getting.
Yeah. And it's rare that they're priced at, full price. For example, I bought Assassin's Creed Rogue remastered, and I also bought Burnout Paradise remastered. Both of those were like $50.
Yeah,
which
less than
if you're Australian, that's equivalent to it falling off the back of a truck. You know what I mean? It's
that's cheap over here.
That's a 5-finger discount by our standards.
Oh, fucking god.
But like it's I mean, I never had a problem with it. To be honest, I feel like I find it funny people get annoyed with re-releases, but no one gets annoyed at Game of the Year editions. It's like, that makes no sense to me.
That's the thing. Like, these people, it's just branding of it. Like, they see a re-release and they're like, "Oh, but I wouldn't buy that. Therefore, product is irrelevant and shouldn't exist."
But my point is, that's what the Game of the Year edition is.
Just don't
buy
seriously,
it. There's times where people do think that they're the only fan of the franchise.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of entitlement if you ever think like something shouldn't exist because it doesn't apply to you, or that you're not a fan of it. If you're not a fan of it, just don't get it. It doesn't, no skin off anyone's back. Like,
yeah, but it's funny because people, this is the same thing that you see in like everything. It's like someone will just be like, "Oh, I can't wait for this," and then you get people constantly complaining that all that's coming out is re-releases. Which, and I'm saying this with all due respect, I hate that mentality. Not everything.
Well, that mentality is wrong.
Not everything is a re-release. If off the top of your head you can name, say, 5 major releases, like massive AAA titles that aren't re-releases, well, not everything's a re-release. Yes, there are a few re-releases, but it's funny because it's not even just like modern re-releases that people hate. I've seen people hate on the Insane trilogy, the Spyro trilogy, and I'm like, man, These are games from the 90s that they've just remade, you know. I'm confused. What's the problem? Did you not want to play these again? Or, you know, like,
Yeah.
in that case, you even have more of a case to remake those, because it's like...
Oh, yeah, no, you have a great case.
Yeah.
If it's like 4 generations ago, then definitely.
That's my
bring
point.
it
Like,
back.
it's a lot easier to buy a PS3 than it is to buy a mint-condition PlayStation 1.
Yeah, if you got to go buy a PlayStation 1 and then you're going to have to go and buy a game, and those things can run you a pretty penny.
Especially in our country.
Especially in our country. Retro gaming market is not friendly here. No.
But it's like, you know, I don't understand it. Like, there have been times where I've, like... Look, I rarely trade in games. One scenario where I'll trade in a game is if I'm trading one game in to get the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, no, I can understand.
For example, I traded Fallout 4 in, and then I ended up getting the Game of the Year edition. Or I did the same thing with Bloodborne, and Bloodborne, holy hell, that was a mad game. I can't wait for a sequel, please. You know, Skyrim as well. I've got it on PS4. I've got the... What is it called? The Legendary Edition, the Special Edition, whatever. Like, I've got that.
Yeah.
You know, I've never ever seen an issue with doing that. Because, like, I think the thing that people just need to be constantly reminded of is you have full control over your own money. If you don't...
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
If you don't buy a product, I don't feel like you have the right to be complaining about it in this case. There are some cases where you can. That's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to complain that a re-release is stupid and then go purchase it.
Guys, they're going to argue that we're remaking episode 1.
Ah,
With all this talk of not buying and shit.
I mean, at that point, we're remaking episodes 1 through 10, don't you think?
Yeah, that's true. Don't buy it. We're very anti-game market, apparently.
Yeah, we are the least industry-friendly gaming podcast.
We've also
I think.
rehashed a few topics as well.
Yeah.
No, you know,
But
you know what? It's funny because for the last few years, they've been predicting that some people have been saying that the video game market is going to crash soon, and I'm like, you know, when that day comes, we're going to regret all the advice we've given because it's.
Oh yeah,
it's
no,
been,
absolutely.
Just don't buy it. Wait, shit! No one bought anything.
Shit, they work. No. But our message is clear, and I don't think the market will crash. There's so many people making games.
There's so many people
like
making
no
games,
money.
but there's so many people making successful games.
Oh yeah, no, that's the best thing. There are also so many people making terrible iPhone games. You know who you are.
Oh man, but it's, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think mobile gaming can be done well.
Oh no, I'm not denying it can be done well, but I want them to go through a market crash.
Like I gotta ask.
It's
I
fun.
gotta ask. What mobile game have you guys spent the most time with?
Brave Frontier.
A long time ago, I bought The World Ends With You solo remix. Yeah,
Oh, that's a good game. That's a very... Wow, we're on the opposite ends of the spectrum there.
And for me, it was Max Payne.
Ooh.
I have Max Payne 1 on my phone, and like that, you know, it's a damn fun game to just play through. You know, yeah, because the thing is, I think mobile gaming can occupy that space where it was like, when when it's late at night and you can't be fucked playing your PlayStation or your PC or whatever, and you just sort of want to lay in bed.
Yeah.
If you don't have a Switch, I think mobile gaming is the next best thing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like the Switch is going to dominate that fucking market. It just... I can't be fucked. Just turn on the Switch.
I gotta ask, with your Switch, do you play it in or out of the dock mostly?
Out of the dock.
I think I'm like part of the 1%. I rarely play my Switch out of the dock.
Really? I find it the Switch's main experience is out of the dock.
I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with playing it out of the dock, but it's just like... I think the only time where I've like consistently played out of the dock is Mario Kart. Like, it's the only game where like I'm lying in bed and I'm just like getting annoyed at shells.
Yeah, Mario Kart's a good game to just chill out with too.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like the only other game I've played for a time out of the dock, like a proper amount of time out of the dock, is Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors.
Odyssey, I played out of the dock completely. It was a really fun time.
No, it was great. It's just
People need to stop complaining.
what?
There are people who hate Mario
Seriously?
Odyssey.
Why?
A couple reasons. One, people don't like Nintendo because they don't like the fact that Nintendo has long-running series. Two, they think that it's an over-glorified walking simulator.
If
Are you
jumping and throwing your
serious?
hat is walking,
Yeah. Yeah, jumping and throw hat is definitely walking.
I don't think it's a walking simulator. I don't.
It definitely doesn't have lives. It doesn't have the same, like, drawback, but it's definitely completely made from the ground up with that in mind.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
is why it's more fun.
I just think it's a damn good game.
I
It
need
is.
a
It's
Switch.
fantastic.
Like,
Good game.
I know this may sound like heresy to some people, but it's like I feel like Mario, like for example, the Super Mario series. I don't think it has to have lives. I don't think it has to have strict rules that it has to follow, as long as it's done correctly. I think Odyssey is a damn good game. You know, I've had a blast with it. In fact, one of my favorite levels in any video game is the festival level from Odyssey.
Yo, that's so good.
Man,
love that
I
game.
was playing. It was literally 6 in the morning when I was playing it, and literally I had it in my dock, and I play on my TV, my 50-inch TV. Like just jump up superstar blaring through my speakers as I'm going through.
That's
that
such a
level.
good song too. Everything is hype about that level. It's amazing.
Oh, it's the best, no, because I love that it gives you the option to not enjoy the festival.
Yeah, you can just go, fuck it, I don't want to enjoy the festival and grab the moon. Or you can enjoy the crap out of it.
And I can't imagine who wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing
I
level.
even love the fact that they put Donkey Kong in that level.
Yeah, no, it's like, it was a complete rehash to, like, the classic Super Mario game.
And it had that
like-
classic 2D like side scrolling.
Yeah, it was so
It was
fun.
fucking awesome. Also,
Oh, it's
I'm not gonna lie, the Switch probably has one of my favorite incentives ever to purchase physical video games. So, here's the thing. I buy most of my video games physically. The only time I'll ever buy digitally is if it's cheaper.
You're about to reveal the loophole, aren't you?
No. But on the Switch, it's got I don't know what the hell you'd call it, but it's like a reward system. Where if you put one of the game cards in, and like you hit the start button and like you go down, there's like a rewards program, and it'll actually refund you a small amount to use on the e-store.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice.
Like don't get me wrong, you're not gonna like buy the next big release with it alone, but it's like it's a nice thing to just have.
Yeah. Well, it definitely gives you some incentive to buy it on
Yeah, not just that, but like Nintendo have a bunch of classic games on there for like $10. So it's like after a few purchases, surely you can just like, if you say to yourself, "Oh, maybe I want to play the original Legend of Zelda," hey, you can probably go buy it, or the original Super Mario Brothers.
You want to play that weird Castlevania game? Go do it.
Yeah, like it's just awesome. I actually remember like when games used to like. Do you remember on the PS3 that they had disc benefits for a time?
No.
You don't remember? I remember one that I remember was Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. If you bought that physically, it would give you what's it called? Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty for free
Really?
to download. Yeah,
Damn it! All those goddamn games are sex puns.
I know they're fucking great, aren't they?
I don't know how the fuck they got over here.
And another one was PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. If you bought it on PS3, you could actually get a free download for the Vita version of the game. Like, things like that were fucking great. Don't get me wrong, they weren't going to convince me to buy the game, but it's just nice. Also, please make another Ratchet and Clank game the way you used to, Insomniac. No more kid-friendly
yes,
shit.
please. Oh my god, like...
Also, I'm not gonna lie, all that talk about re-releases, I would fucking pay for like the PS2 trilogy and the future trilogy to be on PS4. Like, let me know how much it costs, I will pay the manufacturing. Fucking hell, like, you have no idea how much I would love that.
I want
Great-
Ratchet to return to its
great
roots
games.
comedy-wise.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I didn't mind some of the comedy in the PS4 reimagining, but I felt like it felt like it lost something. You know, the original Ratchet had a lot of jokes you wouldn't get as a kid. You know, now going back and playing them, you can like fully understand a lot of the concepts and things characters were talking about. Especially a lot of the stuff in like, for example, number 1 is all about commercialism.
Yeah.
And things like
Yeah,
that.
like you really don't see it until you're older.
Yeah. Like you don't realize just how intelligent the writing was. And it was just so good. You know, but it's like now it's like, oh look, there's a Captain Quark statue that's hidden out of the way, and Quark's asking why it's here. Lol. Like, that's really all it is. Also, I fucking hate the fact that there's no skill points in the PS4
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh.
That annoyed
there's not
me.
really- They did get rid of all like the customization stuff.
I remember when
Yeah.
you used to be able to go into the extras section and then watch the cutscenes. They took that out in the remake.
Do you remember the Insomniac Museum?
Yes. Yeah, I remember it.
That was honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a game in the Insomniac Museum. Josh, please tell me you remember it.
So, time to reveal the darkest parts of my childhood.
Josh.
I never owned a PS2.
And this has been the Safe File Podcast. Thank you for joining us.
No, I never owned a PS2. So I
Josh,
wanted to
it's
play
literally
any
the
issues.
most sold video game console of all time, and you never owned it?
No, I was an Xbox kid.
I think you're the only person I've ever met that never had a PS2 that was like a serious gamer. Everyone I knew had a PS2.
I never had a PS2 until I was like last year when I bought one because it was $3.
That was like the best $3 you ever spent, let me tell you.
It was a good $3. I modded it immediately because I'm not paying for shit.
Jesus Christ. So many damn good games. Like, I'm looking at my PS2 games as we speak, and it's just like, man, you missed out.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that. I did get to play Halo though.
When I owned my PS2, I experienced a lot of good original titles, but I experienced a lot of fucking licensed titles. That's for sure.
What do you mean?
Let's not get into licensed titles.
No,
Jesus
let's get
Christ.
into it.
No, seriously.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah. All right. So basically, I mostly ended up getting those for like presents, or it's like movies I was a fan of. Like one I can point out was Transformers the game, like the movie, the one with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
I feel bad for
Honestly,
you.
that was an alright game. I didn't mind it, but the whole part where you get to play as Megatron was so broken, because literally no one can touch you.
I just feel bad for you that you had to play the Shia LaBeouf Transformers
I played the
game.
sequel as well on the PS3. Just to make
Christ.
matters even worse, I had the B movie game.
Oh,
And you like jazz?
You like jazz?
And surprise!
man. Hang on. Did you ever play Finding Nemo
Yes.
the game though?
Yes.
Man, I used to crack the shits because at the start when you have to do that race, I could never win.
Dude, that shit was fucking hard. Like, I swear one of the levels I had to do one of those sliding picture puzzles. Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
I quit there. I was just like, no.
Oh man.
Uh,
I remember I used to play Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and just play the dual mode and just beat the absolute shit out of Malfoy.
I had the.
I would have been expelled from Hogwarts immediately.
Oh, dude,
yeah, you would have killed someone.
I had
left.
the Chamber of Secrets game, and there's bits where you have to sneak out at night because I'm assuming that's all what the first 3 Harry Potters were. All you did was sneak out of like your dorm, and essentially the
What's a Metal Gear Solid? I'm playing a real stealth game.
exactly freaking Metal Gear Harry right here.
Metal Gear Harry.
No, I'm imagining how awesome a crossover that would be. Harry Potter taking down an actual Metal Gear.
Oh, dude, like, I used to.
With that cloak of invisibility, that'd be useful.
Oh, there's no cloak of invisibility. I don't think there was one that you could use because, like, the prefects, man, they go after you like a hawk. They're like, "Oi, get back here! Get back to your dorm!" And they use this. They use this fucking spell on you that like knocks you out, and you can use Expelliarmus on it, and then it'll reflect back, and then they'll like knock over. You can get past them.
Okay, I gotta say this: we all like read the books and or watched the movies.
I have not read the books, but I have watched the movies.
I have watched most of the movies.
Okay, that'll work. Amph, have you seen
I've
the
seen
movies?
the movies, but haven't read the books.
I want to know why Expelliarmus is the fucking trump card of the Harry Potter world. Every movie, I swear to God, it does something different.
Yeah.
Have you? Like,
Yeah, no.
Did they ever explain that?
No.
I'm trying to
It's
think.
just a good. Apparently, it's just a good spell. I don't like the fact that the Avada Kedavra exists because that just ruins everything. Because you just gave wizards a gun. What's the difference between that spell and a gun?
Do you reckon in like the slums of the Wizarding World, people do like flybys? There's like one guy on a broomstick as he rides by, just yells out Avada
Stupefy
Kedavra.
motherfucker.
Just like it just like wipes out like the entire like Wizarding crypts.
Well, apparently you got to be a good wizard to like do the killing curse. So they probably just drive by and make everyone's heads really big.
Like other than like Expelliarmus and Abracadabra being spammed, dude, Stupefy was spammed in like the last bits.
I know.
Yeah, 'cause
Harry Potter is like really boring.
What?
Harry Potter's really boring.
Nah, go fuck yourself.
I mean, like, name like 4 spells that did something interesting.
Petrificus Totalis?
Alright, what'd that do?
That literally froze someone.
Alright, yeah, no, that's cool. Alright, now name 3 more.
You got that. You've got the Cruciatus Curse.
And what does that do?
You tortured the fuck out of people with it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What do you mean that's pretty cool?
You have
It's alright.
Josh, the longer this podcast goes on, the more aggravated I'm getting with you.
there's ridiculous. The spell ridiculous.
On the heel.
The
Ridiculous. That's not a good spell.
Oh,
Fuck
Ridiculous
off.
was a good spell.
Come on, man. Ridiculous was
I'm
lit.
not argue against
Ridiculous was lit.
this. Ridiculous. I say. Wingardium Leviosa was not a good spell. Making the book fly and shit.
Oh my god.
But it made a good meme.
Man, he used it to knock out a fucking troll. Like that. Respect.
You know, I'll give that scene was cool. Harry Potter could have been much cooler though. Like, there's a lot of parts of Harry Potter I like, but then there's a lot of parts I really don't like.
Harry Potter was designed to look specifically not cool though.
He was.
If you think about it for a second, Harry Potter is just British Naruto. Dude,
Harry Potter.
It really
dude,
is
fuck,
British.
what was the
Naruto.
spell that
no.
like you know the Dementors, right? What was the name of that spell again?
Expelliarmus.
Expecto Patronum.
No, sorry, it was Expecto Patronum. What the hell's wrong
Expecto
with me?
Patronum. That's literally the fucking
Patronus
Rasengan of the fucking.
It really is. That was the answer to every spell. Harry, do you think?
No, but it was only the answer to the Dementors.
I know that's the only answer to the Dementors, but they only fought
If
them
Harry
in like
Potter
2 movies.
could manage to make
Because that's like saying they're prison guards. You only see prison guards when there's prisoners.
No, but why does Harry not learn any other spells but that one?
Because that's all he needed to learn to fight the Dementors. What do you mean?
What? No, like when he versed Voldemort and shit.
Voldemort's not a Dementor.
That's true. But he used Expecto Patronum.
At best, it would have been a glorified nightlight against Voldemort.
Yeah. Apparently, in the books, that spell was completely different.
Yeah, it was from memory.
Yeah, apparently it was supposed to summon like this animal that helped you. Like the spirit, the Patronus or whatever. But in the movie, it was just like a beam.
No, in the movie, he summons a spirit animal. Harry summons a stag.
Yeah, no. Wait, what's the beam one?
I think that's the I think it's. I wouldn't say it's a beam. It's more like a wave. I'm not sure. It's weird.
He does one, isn't, there's a scene that's like every movie where like two beams clash from a wand.
Yeah.
What spell is that?
Expelliarmus.
I mean,
and
Harry's done it with Expelliarmus. You see what I mean? Yeah, like F's
Yeah,
right.
no, that's...
Dude,
it
the
fucking
fucking
does
Expelliarmus
everything.
is the fucking Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Amp will not let up. I like how this podcast is just gonna be like, Josh knows nothing about Harry Potter, and I don't. But I won't claim to know everything about Harry Potter.
Come on, man. Harry Potter, like, if you grew up in like the late 90s and early 2000s, you grew up watching the Harry Potter movies, surely.
Yeah, no, I did. I'm not denying. I watched them up to Order of the Phoenix as they came out, and then I got to the point where I was just like, I'm not really interested anymore.
You need to watch all of them. You need to watch the last.
I need to watch all of them. Okay, I've tried rewatching them recently. I actually do enjoy the early movies. I think they're really whimsical and interesting. I think they get a bit gritty later on, from memory.
People die. Of course, it gets gritty.
It's not that people die. It's just like there's no fun whatsoever.
What do you mean? How much fun can you have? There's a fucking war. There's an entire Wizarding War going on.
Yeah, but Harry Potter has less humor than an average war movie.
It's like yes, man. There's like they've had like there's a wedding. You know, they go out, they celebrate, they have balls. But no, there's not enough fun.
Okay, I'm taking the shit out of it, obviously, but I guess it's not. I never really got into Harry Potter like the other people, like other guys did.
Oh man, I fucking love the series, man.
No, all the power to you. I think that if you want to enjoy a series, enjoy it. I certainly have things I enjoy that I know other people don't.
Yeah.
I was personally more of a Star Wars guy than a Harry Potter person.
I wasn't really into Star Wars either.
Oh, thank God I wasn't the only one. I actually have only seen episodes 4, 7, and 8.
I've seen all of them up to 7. I haven't seen The Last Jedi.
Oh.
The reason I saw all of them was because of family thing. They had all the DVDs when episode 3 came out, so I just got to watch all of them in order, which is kind of fun. It was like watching a weird decline in quality. Like, the story got better, but the effects got worse. Man, I don't know how the fuck that happened.
No, I remember before my mates had, realised I hadn't seen all the Star Wars ones. I went up to one of my mates who was, a massive Star Wars fan. And I tried to convince him that the prequels were better, and that Jar Jar... And that Jar Jar Binks was the best character.
Oh, no! I got a story. Okay, so I was driving home one day, and my girlfriend looks at me, and it was like, if you could compare us to any fictional characters, and she goes, "You're like Jar Jar Binks."
Oh shit!
I was just like, "Oh, why did you say that?" It's like, "Cause you're kind of goofy, and you're trying to make everything fun." I'm like, "Oh, well, at least you're saying it in nice way."
Oh man. I'm changing your name now to Jar Jar Binks in the Discord.
God damn it, no, it's time to Doki Doki Panic. It's such a good name.
Oh my god. Why? What's wrong with Jar Jar Binks? My name is Big Mac.
Your name
Jar
is
Jar Big Mac.
Also, we need to figure out what the hell Mac actually stands for. Because you brought this up. You said to me yesterday, you're like, hey, since your name is has dots in it, we need it to be an acronym for something. MACK.
Yeah.
Mega.
I'll leave that up to the 3 viewers we have.
It should have been MAGI. Massive asshole to the game industry.
Big Mag.
That's true. Big Mag.
Big Maggie. Oh wow.
Big Maggie. That's so good. Alright, everyone. And we kind of got derailed there, but we had a lot of fun tonight on the Save File podcast. Today, joining me has been Big Mac.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
And, of course, Master Amp.
What up?
And, of course, Josh has disappointed 2 of our 3 viewers. That's 66% of our fan base.
I know, I've pissed off more than half of them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time. Signing off.
Signing off.